Jobob, I want to get you on the conversation. What's your take? What are you seeing on social media? Does Nikki Haley have a path?
No, absolutely not. I don't think the narrative changes regardless of the margin. And what I think this ends up ultimately being is a test of the Trump campaign discipline. Because I think my biggest concern, and I think a lot of you have echoed it, is hemorrhaging money going forward. And hopefully the Trump campaign looks at the calendar coming up and realizes he is ahead by astronomical numbers in every single primary, including the open primaries, including South Carolina, which they're going to continue to point to, and just not spend any money there.
That would be a fun flex. Just come out and say it's over, so we're not campaigning. Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Just don't spend.
And the thing I'm actually mostly concerned about here is the cash on hand that the Biden campaign has. I think they reported like $117 million they raised in the last quarter, which is a lot. And I think just to echo the point that, again, everybody's been making is the biggest concern is hemorrhaging money that could be used to fight Democrats rather than fight Republicans in this weird circular firing squad that we have going on right now. And so the margin here in New Hampshire seemingly is irrelevant. I think all of the narrative is still going to be Nikki Haley is still in this. Her home state of South Carolina is coming up on the docket. And people are still going to have this fantasy idea that this is still a contentious race. And I hope the Trump campaigns, like Blake said, a flex would be just to not spend any money against this. Because look what's coming up. The next thing is Nevada, in which Nikki Haley's not on the primary ballot, so it's not going to happen. Then actually after that, to correct the record here, then is the Virgin Islands. So we dare not gloss over the Virgin Islands, but of course that's irrelevant, it seems. Then South Carolina, where Trump is up 40 points. Michigan has an open primary. Trump is up 50 points there. Then Idaho, there's a closed primary, so Trump will dominate. And the list goes on and on and on.
What is the path? I mean,
there is no path.
Through the Lockheed Martin boardroom?
And I was looking at the delegates here.
Yes.
And obviously it's much easier to stay in range if you have proportional states. And what you have is there's a lot of GOP states where if you get over 50% of the vote in the primary, you get all the delegates. I think Texas works that way. Is Nikki Haley going to beat Donald Trump in Texas?
And here's another piece of evidence on camera of why this race is suspiciously close on MSNBC, play cut 87.
Christian, who did you vote for and why?
Yeah, so thank you. I voted for Nikki Haley, and it was certainly a strategic vote. I think the DNC is fairly resolute in their nomination for Joe Biden. And while I wouldn't vote for her in a general election, particularly on our differences with climate change solution, a women's right to bodily autonomy, or incarceration rates, I think a vote for Nikki Haley helps diminish Trump's influence in the RNC and their nomination, but is also a vote towards democracy.
And Christian is emblematic of so many conversations that I've had here throughout the day. Rachel?
Alex, Christian, thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's good to have that perspective.
So many conversations I had throughout the day. That is now the second video. This is not a Republican primary. This is some Republican and a Democrat infiltration effort.
But did you hear what he said? He said, well, hopefully this helps the RNC give less influence to Donald Trump.
That's exactly right.
But if you tell them the plan, now they know that,
we already have open primaries, though. This is the issue. These open primaries are going to kill us.